Girls, Miss Tabor here with another lesson from LLI that I have permission to share with you from Heinemann. Today's lesson, we have two parts. We have a new phonics practice working with R-controlled vowels, which are really tricky because a lot of the times they sound the same. So it's hard to decide how to spell it. So we will practice that today. One way to continue to work on these skills are to read. The more you read, the more you'll know which way the word should be spelled. And then we'll get into a new book. You will read this book by yourself because it is not too difficult. And then we will be all finished. I am interested in our lesson after today. I'm looking ahead, and it's actually a book or a level or a lesson that I've actually never taught. I've never been to. So either digital learning is working really well for us, or I'm going a little bit too fast, or the school day is usually filled with a lot of different activities that sometimes we miss out. So I'm thinking digital learning is not so bad because I'm farther in my lessons than normal. So let's go ahead and get to our phonics piece in working on these R-controlled vowels. So first off, we are going to work on the sound. Is going to be represented by some letters in front and the IR, and maybe some letters at the end. Really tricky. So the first word I'm going to write is girl. Girl. And first, you can hear it first. Bird. Bird. Twirl, that's a tricky word, twirl, and swirl, swirl. So here are the words for the IR controlled vowel sound. Now we're going to move over to a slightly different sound. It's still an R controlled vowel. Luckily this one doesn't sound exactly the same. Thank goodness. So this one is or. So the little word or in words. So we can write that word or. I'm not going to this time because it's right here, but I'm going to build upon that. So for, or, born, born, corn, corner, storm, storm, stormy, we're just adding an ending at the end of storm, and morning. Here's the first part, morn, and then ing, morning. So again, this is just a quick practice on R-controlled vowels. The IR that makes the sound, and OR that makes the OR sound. Awesome job. If you can think of other words, go ahead and write them down or go ahead and say them out loud. Although you need to really actually find them in a book and make sure they make the right sound. So as we read our new story, maybe let's play I Spy or R-controlled vowel words or the IR controlled vowels, the Let's see if you can find them. Again, any book that you're reading by yourself at home, go ahead and find these words. It's really fun to play I Spy. All right, let me show you our new story today. Here it is. It is called The Boss. In this story, there are 3 children. You can see them right here. And their mother is sick. So the father needs to go out to the store to get some things to help the mother feel a little bit better. I wonder what some of those things are to make you feel better when you're sick. But when the father is gone, the kids want to be the boss of the house. So what happens when someone is the boss? Think about it. I know some of you like to be the boss of the group and tell people what to do because, you know, you're either doing a nice job or sometimes people aren't doing a good job, and so you want to remind them. So thinking about the boss, it's, you know, someone that tells you what to do. So each child wants to be the boss. Now think, can all three of them be the boss? Well, when we read, I want you to think, who is the boss? What are they deciding to do? And is it working? So think about those pieces when you are reading. I'm going to scroll through each page. Your job is to read. In this story, there's a lot of dialogue. I want you to think, who is telling the story? I'm going to tell you right now, it's the middle child. He is the one telling the story. Think about as you read, how can you tell who is reading the story? And always, I'm going to remind you when we're reading, think about the dialogue that is happening. Read with expression. Think about pausing at punctuation, pausing a little extra at periods so your sentences aren't running on to each other. Okay? Really sound good when you're reading. All right, let's get to it. The Boss. And this is written by Becky Mann and illustrated by Maury Manning. I usually don't share that part, but there you are. The Boss. This says, "Get well, Mom." Remember I told you that the mom is sick? Has that ever happened to you? Bummer. So here we are, we can now finally decide and see who is telling the story. "Dad is gone," said my big brother. So right here we know that it's not the big brother telling the story because he's kind of speaking, now I'm the boss. And we have to remember that the big brother is still saying that. And here the little sister, "I want to be the boss," said my little sister. Right here, "said my little sister," tells us that he's the one telling the story. And if you're really not sure about that, it's right here. "I told my big brother." So he is telling the story. All right, let's keep going. Do you think this page is going to go well? Ooh. What happens when you continue to blow up a balloon? He blew and blew until pop! I hope you could guess that. Now, if you're noticing this word, it has that IR. It does not follow the same rule as the R-controlled vowel because it has a vowel combination, the AI. This is hair. Okay, so good job if you found that, but it's a different word, different sound. So thinking about this story, the two brothers and the sister, wanted to take turns being the boss while their mother is sick and the father is at the store. The three children love their mother. How do you know that they love their mother? Think about that. I want you to decide how do you know that they love their mother? Well, throughout the story, each child did something to try to make their mother feel better. That's how you know you love her. But they ended up making a mess, which, sometimes happens. And it's okay to make messes as long as you do what afterwards? Clean up the mess. So the mother woke up from the popped balloon and noticed a big mess. And at the end, she decides the mother's now the boss, so the story changed from the bosses, and they have to clean up the mess. Now, I hope the children cleaned up the mess themselves and did not have the mother help, because the mother didn't do it and she's sick. So I'm really hoping that the children cleaned up the mess. Have you ever had to do that to somebody? Maybe they were sick and you had to help, or you had to be the boss. So think about that. Can you connect a situation that you've had outside to this story? Have you been sick? Have you been the boss? Have you made a mess? Did you clean it up? Think about that. All right, thanks for tuning in today. The next book I mentioned is a book that actually I haven't taught before. I'm really excited. It is a nonfiction story, and I hope you'll really enjoy it. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in.